Well, this is Thoreau from Field African Radio, and this is a call that he had, basically challenging the whole notion of a nation state in Africa.
All right, with that, here we go.
Oh, you know who's on here, J-Mo?
Who that?
Your favorite caller, man, Anonymous.
1111.
Yeah.
Hey, what's going
Anonymous, you don't feel that. Oh, this is someone else. I thought this was the sister. What up, fam?
Nah, what's going on? I was listening to what you were saying. There's a couple of things that I want to address. The first thing about I don't know which I should go approach. Should I start with the Mr. Hollicism angle, or should I go with the whole black people need to arm themselves angle? Which one you want me to approach first?
Go with the whole lipsism.
All right. With Mr. Hollicism, okay, this is my issue with the whole go back to Africa thing. All right. Yeah, we live in America. America is predominantly a white country, and white people control pretty much everything. But this idea of going back to Africa to start something and try to create something from scratch is complete garbage and complete BS because of the fact that black people don't want to do the basic things that they need to do first here. I'm saying we can't even get a Black Power lemonade stand going. So the idea that cats is going to go back over there like the Book of Negroes and, build something from scratch, they don't even want to do that. When you start talking about brothers making more money than their woman, okay, so that they can be, the lead and they can guide the community as men should do do in other patriarchal communities that have dominated us, they got issue with that. When you start talking about, going into business and controlling, the businesses that exist within the black community, hell, just the bodega, they don't want to do that. They got excuses for doing that. So, to go all the way to the extreme idealistic, super Afrocentric, plate with the guy with the dreads holding the baby up in the air and the black woman embracing his waist, that's a beautiful picture, but I'm saying there's a whole bunch of stuff that we don't want to do, and nobody wants to address that. The other thing is like, we're all...
You want to answer one at a... You want us to answer that one at a time?
Okay, go ahead.
Respond to that? All right. So when you say we, now, we is very broad, and it generalizes a lot of people. Especially when you say we, you would have to say, well, I'm guaranteeing you right now that there's no black people doing it right now as we speak. That's what you would have to be saying right now, that you know every black individual and you know what they're doing and what they're trying to build in Africa. You would have to be saying that right now, right? And so when someone said go back to Africa, they don't mean all the black people in America. It's not what they're saying. They're saying the black people who have something to give, something to say, yo, I have the know-how. This is what I bring to the table. This is what I'm great at. And you get those people together to go over there and build something. And then something small becomes something big. You're never going to get something big first. It's always going to start off small. It's a grassroots thing. But there are already black people going to Africa trying to build. So we have to remember that. Let me say this. That they say the revolution. Whose phone is that? Who's moving around?
That's not me.
Okay, that's the call.
I was switching my phone.
Okay, fam. Remember that mute button, dog.
I get what you're saying in terms of it's not going to be a Noah's Ark type of situation, and you're bringing absolutely everybody. But I'm saying even when you go to the so-called most educated, most motivated, has the most resources, the people who would be the pioneers, I'm telling you, they don't want to do it. They don't even want to do it.
Let me ask you this. Let me cut you off.
Okay,
let me cut you off. I'm going to ask you this. Is it a good idea? That's what I want to ask you. Yes or no?
Is it a good idea to what?
For a group of black people here to try to build something in Africa. Is it a good idea?
I would have to say no. I mean, it's already been done with Monrovia and Liberia. And I'm saying, listen to the context of what I'm saying.
So you saying build it here then? You saying build it here?
What I'm saying is most of the problems that we have in America are due to the fact that we do not have our own economic structure. And I'm saying we did not even attempt to even try to put it in place when black people had, good jobs. Yes, we had Tulsa, Oklahoma, and Springfield, Illinois, and Omaha, Nebraska, and all that other stuff. We should have stuck with that model. We should have stuck with the Malcolm X, but instead we integrated. So when we excuse me, I shouldn't say integrated, we desegregated. Go ahead.
What you're doing, fam, is you're stumping out all things, and you're saying what I want to see is what I want to see. And the reason why I asked you is it a good idea, maybe I should have asked you, is it going to hurt to try? But it's what I really should have asked you. Because let me finish, fam. Let me finish. Anytime someone is doing something productive or trying to do something productive, and your angle is it ain't gonna work, that just makes you a hater, fam. That's all it makes you. Because what you should be doing is encouraging. Like, yo, I may not roll with what y'all doing, but I support you. Go ahead and try it and see if it works. The problem is when it's something that we don't agree with, we want to stop people from doing it and saying it won't work.
That's not what
you don't know that. You're not all seeing, fam.
That's not what I'm doing.
You just gave us a bunch of reasons as to why it ain't going to work.
Listen very carefully to what I am saying. I'm saying there are many things right now, right here in America, that black people could be doing, okay, in terms of creating economic opportunities for ourselves, and in terms of creating opportunities for the youth and the next generation. I'm saying, and I have seen substantial evidence of it, that we don't even want to do that. So running to the extreme of let's go over to Africa so that we can get away from the white man, I'm saying we haven't even challenged the white man appropriately yet.
Well, no, that's not.
Say about the arms and the guns and everything, brother. Oh yeah, we need to arm ourselves. Black people are the most anti-Second Amendment group of people that there are because we vote Democratic, and in all these Democratic centers, it's anti-Second Amendment. You can't carry in New York. You can't carry in many urban cities. We're in L.A., where it's predominantly black people. They got all these laws that were designed to keep guns out of our hand, and we went right along with them, on top of the fact that we don't even manufacture the weapons to defend ourselves. We don't have an economy nor infrastructure to make. What are we going to defend ourselves with guns that white people make? Like they're going to give us the latest weapons of arms so that we can defend ourselves against them? Come on, man.
Actually,
it's about infrastructure, and what I'm saying is we get so magical.
Can I answer that? Hey, fam. I'll let you go in, fam. I'll let you go in. I'm going to start muting you. What you just said, fam, is what you made my point for me, man. And that, because you saying that we haven't tried here, and that is not true. Black folks have done every possible thing you can do in America. We had the Marcus Garvey movement, the Go Back to Africa movement. We had segregation where we had our own shit and they bombed it. We integrated and they kept us down. We didn't try everything. So where have you been to say we haven't tried nothing, fam? And what I'm saying is you keep saying about...
To try to compare today's generation to the generation of the past, it ain't the same, man.
You're going by the past, though, fam. So all we can do is go by what happened. That's what I'm saying. When you saying what we can't do, you're projecting. You don't know. That's trying to think of for the future. What I'm telling you is, let me finish, fam. Let me finish, fam. I'm trying not to mute you, dog. We have tried every angle here. When you say, what are we going to do? Buy guns from white folks? You're saying all the things that is the reason why we need to start turning towards Africa. Because everything we do here, the white people got to be involved in it. You got to pay them taxes. You got to go through them. And Holip made a great point. What if you wanted to deal with somebody who had something like Cuba? They're not going to let you do that. So you need to build something. A great example that he used was, if the damn Jews got Israel, why can't we have our own base somewhere in Africa? And why is that such a bad, dirty word for black people where they want to shoot that shit down before we even try it?
It's not a bad dirty word. I'm not I'm not disagreeing with the concept.
You double talking, fam.
Listen to what I'm saying. You're not listening to me. You're like responding, but you're not trying to understand where I'm coming from. I'm trying to get you to understand where I'm coming from. What I'm saying is there is a whole bunch of things that African Americans, right, going back to what you said about we cowards, okay? There's a lot of stuff that we don't want to do, okay? I've heard brothers jump up and say stuff like, brother, you majoring in the minor. When I'm talking about a brother being economically ahead of his female, how is it you not going to economically surpass your own female, but yet you think that you're going to go out there and surpass other races of men who are ahead of their female? You see what I'm saying? Like, the bitch-assness starts small, but then the bitch-assness evolves into others. Going to what you're talking about, I'm like, we ain't ready for that. You talking about playing varsity, and I'm like, we're not even doing the Little League stuff.
Let me make a comment.
Let me finish it, J-Mo. Let me get this. I understood perfectly what you were saying, fam. And I answered that because everything you talking about is the reason why we need to focus on building something outside of this motherfucker. That's what you don't understand. Wait, no, fam. Please stop cutting me off, dog. Please. You are making my point right now. You're saying we don't make as much as I... All right, fam. I'm going to have to let you go, dog. Because this ain't...
All right, peace, man. Because you're not understanding.
I hear you loud and clear, fam. And I appreciate you calling me. I'm going to go to the next caller. That right there wasn't... I thought I was making it clear for him. You're going to say that we can't make it as much as our woman. You're talking about all these things that's stopping us. It's the damn country. Being here is what's fucking our heads up. Because we have Europeans on top of us on every aspect of our life. I don't get what's so hard about that. And then it seems like, well, I'm going to slickly try to keep you here and tell you you can't make it somewhere else. That sounds like the white man to me, man. You made all the reasons as to why we need to get the fuck up out of here and start looking towards building a nation outside of this nation. We're not saying everybody got to come. We're saying, like Holip said, we need our Israel in Africa where we can control the politics. We don't control shit here. Anyway, man, was I making sense, J-Mo, or am I talking crazy? Let me know.
You was making sense. You was making sense from your position. You was making sense.
Because I understand our downfalls here. I understand. But I'm saying, damn, can we at least put that on the table, too, with doing shit here, too? We can do both.
I don't really have a question, but I have more of a comment, which has been something like that's been kind of like on my heart for a long time. And I think it's because just growing up where I grew up, like, we all grew up, well, some of us on the phone grew up in a predominantly Jewish neighborhood.
Yes,
and like,
that's right.
When you look at the Jews and you look at how they have community, like what we're talking about, nation, right? And you see how they build community. I've always envied that because of the fact that they believe in one another and they totally are a community. You can see it, you can feel it, you can smell it, you can taste it, right?
Mm-hmm.
And it's like, why is it that when we try to come together, either it be the nation or the African village or whatever, or other organizations that try to start to do something like this, why can't we make it? Like, what is it in our DNA? And some of the things I've always thought about was just looking back at our history and how we don't have that history like the Jews have. We have it, but we don't know it. And to try to teach it, sometimes people are not listening. So if you're not listening, then you never get that community. You never really gel with one another. Does that make sense?
Yes.
Yeah.
And I would love to answer that question.
Go ahead, brother. You got
that is such a juicy question right there.
Do your thing, brother.
The main reason why we don't, quote unquote, get together is because we don't understand what nationhood and infrastructure actually is. Best example I can give of an infrastructure is America. Now, people say what they want to about America, but let's say you have an apartment building, right? Within that apartment building, there are people who have all different types of ideologies. You can have Christians, Muslims, atheists, homosexuals, anything, whatever different ideology or lifestyle you have, can all live in that same building. Those same people pay rent to the building. Those same people ride on the subways and the buses. Does the subway and the bus ask you, oh, did you fast today before it takes your money?
Not at all, not at all.
You know what I'm saying? The infrastructure doesn't care about these, your personal ideology. You're there to power the system that was created. And this is the thing that we don't seem to understand. A lot of the conversations that we have in our culture is moral conversations, like personal lifestyles and choices. That's where the level of the conversation is. And as long as it stays on that level, you're never going to get the big picture as to what it takes to form a nation, what it takes to maintain a nation. Infrastructure doesn't care about your religion. When you ride down that road and that highway and you pay that toll, nobody is asking you that are you fasting, are you vegan, or what? Nobody cares about that. So we're talking about, basically, the reason why we can't get together because we're talking about shit that's irrelevant. We need to start talking about, I think the common denominator for most people, regardless of their race, not their race, their religion and their lifestyle is economic opportunity, whether their children are properly educated, whether their neighborhood is safe. You know what I'm saying? These are things that everybody can relate to.
Absolutely.
And the role of government, as far as I'm concerned, is to take care of the people, to provide the basic needs of the people. Because if not, what the hell is the use for a government? Why support a government if the government is not taking care of you? So that's why everybody talks about socialism, to me, is an idiot. The government itself is socialism.
Right.
You know, it's like everybody want to pick and choose what. Like when you put your money and you pay taxes, you're paying for roads, highways, all this other stuff, all this infrastructure that everybody benefits from. Public school is paid for by what? Taxes.
Right.
So when people, like, that's why it was killing me. Like when people say, "Oh, free tuition in university, that's unbelievable." How is it unbelievable when you're doing it now on a public school level?
Right. Absolutely. You know, the only problem is that in this country they're more concerned about warfare. That's where their money is going. Trillions is going into overseas rather than in their own country. Right. Absolutely.
So basically, that's the problem. That's the reason why we can't get together is because, first of all, we're not thinking big picture. We don't have people in leadership positions that's talking like me. And the crazy part about it is, why am I, some dude from Brooklyn, who grew up in the projects, talking this stuff, and the people that are much more educated than me is mute?
Right.
How can I come up with this stuff in my spare time while I'm trying to provide food, clothing, and shelter for myself? I can come to these conclusions, and the people that were paid or the people that actually represent us don't have these same talking points in their mouth?
Right.
Brother,
absolutely.
I think it's fear. Brother, I don't even want to interrupt you. I want to say this. Talking points, like you said, when you have individuals that have power and they have something to lose, and I'm telling you, cats, if you haven't heard my man, please go to his fucking YouTube page and listen to his talking point smashes.
Absolutely.
Goddamn.
Absolutely.
He said some shit that was profound and prolific in the whole 9 yards. The bottom line is, and bro, you said it yourself in the talking points way back in 2014. If you're a person that has nothing to lose, you don't give a shit about what people have to say today. Bottom fucking line. At the end of the day, the sad reality of it is, and black people, it's about what can you do for me today, and if you can't do some shit for me today, I'm not rocking with you. If I can't, have a return on what you're talking about in this investment today, I don't fuck with you. That's the problem.
Right.
Yeah, I know exactly what you was talking about too, because like in that video, I was saying you have people in our community right now who got like organizations, and they telling you, oh man, it's going to be 100 years, 200 years before we get together. I said, so what am I doing in your freaking organization? I'll be dead by then.
Right, exactly.
Exactly.
I got to jump in here.
You want me to give you money? Come on, man. I noticed it on my channel and just my content that I put out. People tend to hit me up like behind the scenes, like on the private messages, and majority of the people that hit me up on the private messages are youth.
Yep.
A lot of young people are listening to the message because it's a message of hope. It's a message for the future. And this is why I say what you have to ask your talking heads, your leadership, your representatives, what is the end game? What's the end game here in America?
Mm-hmm.
You're not really going to get an answer, but that within itself is an answer.
Absolutely.
All it's going to do is bring people to us.
I'm not necessarily familiar with your whole concept of nationhood, so I'm trying to understand where you're coming from.
Mm-hmm.
Some of the examples that you have spoke on have been talked about how people in the Jewish community all support one another and are, I would say, on a common mission. And that can be compared to a lot of other communities. You can look at the Koreans, you can look at the Chinese, where, I mean, people have talked about how in our community, in the African American community in America, that's not the same. I want you to just speak upon some of those topics because I don't think that we are necessarily a monolith like some of those other communities are. Like, you know, we're not all one thing.
Well, the perfect example I can give you is the BAIO, because actually what Minister Dawood kind of touched on it. He's from the Nation of Islam. We have people that's Christians. We have people that are atheists, don't believe in any of this. You know what I'm saying? It's like, but yet we all have a common denominator. We want nationhood for black people. So the monolithic, I don't think, I had made a video about this, about the statement that black people are not monolithic. Black people don't have to be monolithic. Like that talking point is in one of my talking point smashes, is that look at America. Is America monolithic? America is probably the most stable nation in the world right now, so stable that other countries want to put their money in America. Because I don't think anybody's going to form a coup and run up in the White House and take it over. That doesn't happen. You know, like in other countries, you can have a military come and take over the government. That doesn't happen in America.
Turkey tried that a few months ago.
So, and look at, you got right wing, left wing, all these different ideologies, but for some strange reason, the system is stable. And the reason why is because the organizers or the founders of this system understood what nationhood meant, understood what infrastructure meant. And there's a little book, I had referred to this on a previous show. If you ever get a chance, it's a book called The Art of Systems Thinking. If you can look it up on Amazon, The Art of Systems Thinking. And I'm going to summarize what the book is about. The purpose of a system is to maintain itself. That's it. So when you have a police system, the police system is not to solve crime. It's to maintain a police system. When you have a health system, it's not to make people feel better. It's to maintain a health system. When you create a system, the system is self-perpetuating.
Right.
That's the concept people got to get through their noggin. So a lot of the things that we concentrate on, the system could care less about.
Right.
And that's why there's no, like in America, there's no need to have, like everybody has this thing in their mind that when there's a conspiracy, a bunch of people got together in a room and there's, you know, smoke and stuff in the dark and they came up with some master plan. It doesn't work that way. Conspiracies are more organic than anything else. It's like, best example I can give you, if you're at a job, right?
They're systematic. It's systematic or institutionalized practices.
If you're at a job, right, I'll use this as an example. This is one that people can easily understand because we've all dealt with it. You have people at a job that have been there for 20, 30 years, right? And then you have somebody who just came into the job. Now, let's say this person that comes into the job is very ambitious and they want to skip, you know, the process, and they want to get straight to the top. Does it require all of those veterans to go in some dark room and come up with a conspiracy to keep that person from doing that? Or does everybody universally say, oh, no. I've been here for 30, 40 years. You ain't coming in here skipping and going straight to the top. And each one of those people in their own way will do what they can to keep that person in their place. It's organic. It's not planned out. It's nothing that you have to go and do some type of master plan with. The system maintains itself.
Right. Yeah, it's spontaneous and spur of the moment at that particular time. Got you, brother.
Right.
Got you. Yeah. Damn.
How can I add to your thought, big brother?
Sure.
See, the thing about it is that we continue to point to the Jews, the Chinese, Italians, and we point to what they have without pointing to how they got it.
Right.
And as we always say, you cannot have a Chinatown without China. You cannot have a Crown Heights without Israel. So what we're saying is that when you talk about monolithic thought amongst black people, infrastructure is the uniting principle. Infrastructure is what everybody wants to control, whether they know it or not. Infrastructure is what everybody wants to possess, whether they know it or not. And the BAIO is built off of attracting brothers and sisters who are involved in science, technology, engineering, and mathematics. These brothers and sisters will be responsible for building, maintaining, and controlling infrastructure once we acquire land. So therefore, once we have that, it won't matter if you're a Jew, a Muslim, or whatever it is you are. You just know that in order to be a part of a nation and to have patriotic connection to it, you have to pay into and want to maintain that infrastructure. And we can argue about little stuff later. But the problem that's always been in the black community is we don't have no possession of land or infrastructure. So we arguing over these little things like, are you gay or are you biracial and stuff like that. In the reality,
you light skin, you dark skin.
Not come before infrastructure.
Right.
I see light skin and dark skin people swiping that Metro card and getting on the train. That system does not care.
That's it.
Right. Exactly.
Let me pose for a second. I want to jump back in because I think I'm starting to understand what y'all are talking about with Nationhood. And you know what? I am one of those STEM black people. Like, you know, I'm a straight up nerd. I program computers. I build applications. I own land.
We got to get
I'm
you.
becoming part of, like, not only becoming part of the system, but I'm participating in order to put my vote out there to make sure that I can participate and guide the way that I want to try and make this nation grow in. So I'm fully behind that.
We need you, boy.
All right, so, you know,
you're the type of person we're trying to attract.